You're listening to
Tipsy Book Reads.
I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Jess.
And we're tipsy. Too many books on my TBR. Yeah. This podcast is like a book club for the antisocial. We make a drink inspired by the book we read and talk crap about life and fictional characters. We really hope you listen and drink along.
Side effects of listening to this podcast may include reading vivaciously, extreme bouts of laughter, tipsiness from craft cocktails, talking shit about life and fictional characters. Listen at your own risk.
Just a warning, this podcast is explicit. We are all over 21 and there are spoilers. We warned ya. Hi, Jessica.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little traumatized from this book a little bit.
A little bit.
But also I really like it.
Oh my gosh. And not us reading romance by choice.
I know. I'm really proud of us. Look at the growth.
I mean, it is February, so I feel like it's a must.
It's February. Oh my gosh. We have so many cool things happening in February. There's a bug. There's a fly. It's okay. But anyways, it just flew past you and then over there, and that distracted me.
Not me singing Miley Cyrus's
Fly on the Wall.
Fly on the Wall.
And then Fly on the Wall. I haven't thought about that song in so long. Oh my gosh. Anyways, there are a few trigger warnings before we get into this book, which is heavily trigger warning for grief, and really just language. And there's one thing that we've never triggered before, and I started thinking about it. It's not really a trigger, but a warning. I don't think it's a trigger, but hey, if you're not into spicy books, this might not be for you, and that's totally okay. We'll see you next time. The next one also might be spicy though.
Yeah,
so
fair enough.
We're in February. We're sorry, but that's totally fine, and there's no judgment there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Cool. What world are we living in?
We are living in Akwaeke Amaze's world. We are reading You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty,
Which I listened/watched in author interview. I just lost my train of thought while I said that incorrectly, and it was so freaking good, and I'm obsessed with her, and I can't believe I have never heard of her before,
right?
because she's big.
And she's written 7 books in 4 years?
Yeah. And they're making an adaptation of this book.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so one of the questions that they asked on the show was, why aren't you working on the screenplay for it? Why did you hand that off? And her response was, because I have so many books to write. And I was like,
love it.
I love that. Also, I mean, if they're as good as this, I'll read all of them.
Honestly.
It's very intense, but it's so well written. I texted you last night. I was like, this is intense. I'm having a hard time, not necessarily reading it, but getting through it. But it's so well written. And you had pointed out poetically feeling, and it's yeah.
Yeah. I feel kind of like I'm reading a song the entire book.
That's a really good point.
It's just very beautifully written, so poetic. Also, it is a bit spicy, and Logan, thanks for reading along with us, texted me Jessica, you did not warn me. I'm listening on audio and my walls are thin.
Which when she put that in the group chat of needing to put it on headphones, that's when I made a note in my little things to say maybe we should put a spicy warning because of that, of don't listen to it on speaker in the car when you're driving with your parents, or if you don't like it, that's okay.
Yeah. And then it made me, so I was reading the back, and one of the things says, one of the quotes, it says, a steamy and sexy read, as in shut the book if your kids walk into the room. And I was like, that's so funny, but it is definitely one of those.
So sorry, guys. We'll make a note to pre-warn people. Sorry. Anywho, the cover is gorgeous too.
It is. It's stunning.
But I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
My favorite question ever to ask you. What you drinking?
Okay, so I kept it simple with this one. I made a ginger passion fruit mimosa with rum. So when, what is his name? The father makes her the juice that's ginger and passion fruit. I was like, oh my God, that sounds so good.
Everything he made
Literally.
sounded so good.
Absolutely incredible. I just Yeah. So, and then I added rum because I feel like it would also be okay with vodka. Just rum tends to lend itself very well to like fruit.
Oh, it was a well choice.
And they had mimosas at the beginning, so figured make it a little bubbly.
It was a well choice.
It was a well choice. Yes, tell me how you really feel.
It was a well choice.
So yeah, cheers.
Cheers. That was good. I love a good juicy. I love a good juicy book, but I also love a good juicy drink.
Yeah. Ooh, we should do passion fruit mimosas at the book fair.
100%. We could call it "You Made It Full of Death with Your Beauty" mimosa.
So very long title.
I know. So I got my book from Fern and Table, and when I went in to
Same.
go get it, I got twins. When I went to go buy it, I had texted her beforehand and was like, "Hey girl, do you have this in stock yet?" And I said the book name and I wrote it wrong, but I wrote it slightly wrong, and I realized I wrote it wrong on the graphic too. I said, "You made a fool of death out of death with your beauty."
Oh.
I added out, and which is really funny because I also put another story where I said out read and I meant to say our read, but I think my autocorrect corrected it. Anywho, I'm gonna blame it on that. So when I got there and I was like, "Oh, did you get it?" I was really in a hurry, and she goes, "I think so." She goes, "But I reread your text this morning and realized that you gave me like a slightly different title, and now I'm concerned that I got the wrong book."
Oh no.
And it was the right one. But so it's "You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty," which I freaking love, but a long title.
Yeah, it is a long title, but honestly, I'm excited, but also I'm nervous cuz like I don't normally like romance. So far, I'm liking it, but also like
I have some interesting topic to okay, we're not going to talk today.
words.
It's just not going to happen. I have some interesting thoughts of things that I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
2 things specifically.
Okay.
But I'm right there with you. I don't know where this is going
Yeah.
because she's in this time, which, by the way, the fact that we're only 11 chapters in, we're reading chapters 1 through 11. We're only 11 chapters in, and I'm so fiercely overprotective of this character
Yeah.
that I'm like, that's how you know this book is incredible, because every time something new is introduced, I'm like, I'll fight you if you hurt her. Like, I will literally fight you.
Honestly, 100%.
But, yeah, I'm trying to think how to say. There's just a few things that I'm not a fan of in tropes and life. But then it's like, what I was going to say is she's in a season of like change.
Yeah.
And so things even between 1 and 11 have drastically changed so much that I'm like, where are we going to be at the end?
Honestly,
Yeah.
I have no clue, but also I think same with you, there's some tropes that are starting to present themselves that I'm not typically a fan of. However, I fully believe I'm going to be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I think so too. I feel trapped. Here we go. But yeah, I have a positive perspective on it, but just I know exactly what you're gonna say, and I know you know what I'm gonna say, because we've talked about not liking it on the podcast in previous times. So,
All right. Good
would you like a synopsis, or would you like to dive into scattered thoughts?
You can try to sum it up. I'm not gonna try.
I wrote a little thing,
Okay,
very,
cool.
very small. In my mind, I pictured like if I had to sum this up in one sentence, what would I do? And I wrote a woman's journey of feeling alive after a tragic death of her husband. And I think that just sums it up. She's just trying to feel alive.
Absolutely. Love it.
Okay, I do have a character breakdown.
Okay.
I do want to just go ahead and make a disclaimer. I can't pronounce my own name sometimes, and so I'm just going to go ahead and say I do apologize if I pronounce any of these names incorrectly. I will do my best. We tried to do audiobook, like we had someone, Logan, we've already mentioned her on the podcast. is listening to it on audiobook to give us kind of an idea of how to say things. And we ended up recording this earlier.
Yeah.
So we didn't get it. That's okay.
We didn't get all of them.
That's totally fine. We got a few. Which on the interview, they pronounced it Faye.
Yeah.
So the very first, our main character, Faye, she is our main character, obviously, and she's an artist, which is so cool because Akwaeke is also an artist and does the same artwork that she does in this book, which fascinating. And she obviously, like I said in the synopsis of the book, lost her husband tragically 5 years ago. And then she has a best friend, Joy, who I wrote literally bestie that makes bad choices. Girl needs, she also needs a drastic change in her life.
Yeah.
Milan is the first guy that she was with in 5 years since her husband. So it's a very crucial point in her life, I think. Did we ever get an idea of how to say that?
Nasir would be my
I think
best
that's,
guess.
Nasir is, I wrote boy interest because at the point that we're at right now, it's undefined.
Yeah.
It's friendship. It's defined as friendship, but
blurry friendship.
blurry friendship. So, and then his father is very important in this book also, along with his sister Lorraine, and the father and lost his wife earlier on, and her name was Marisol, which I love that name.
I do too.
This is the second time that
Beautiful.
name has come up, and I love that name.
Yeah, me too.
Was that good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Scatter thoughts.
Good deal.
While you're doing that, I'm going to set a timer because I forgot to set one.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so yes, Joy needs some serious life changes, and I think she mentioned being in therapy, but
She did.
She definitely.
And I had that moment of, but you got to listen to the therapist.
Yeah. You have to apply what they're teaching you. But also, when they were at the bar with,
Sorry, you can go ahead and
there's
take it.
so many
names. Yeah. That's one thing. There's a lot of characters.
Yeah. When they were at the bar with Milan and his crew,
Mhm.
and she was meeting someone, and she was like, "Oh, okay, we're hugging," and was like,
Yes.
not a fan. I was like, "That's us."
Is that not me? I didn't. I laughed at that too. That was so funny.
Oh, we're hugging.
Oh, okay, cool.
So funny. She's like a little like a hedgehog. She's like super cute
Oh,
and
I
cuddly,
love
but also
that.
like don't touch me.
Yeah. That's like me.
Yeah.
I love that. Also, I'll just say it now. I'm not a fan of her affair. That's what I don't like.
Get it together.
And as a best friend, obviously I'm saying not saying that this would ever happen in real life, but the way I would literally smack you upside your head
Literally.
and be like, no.
And
No.
the fact that it's a trend, like it's not just one, like she is
Yeah,
solely
that's
interested
like
in
her-
married people.
That's literally her type.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. But you know what? That's character choice.
Yep.
Just every time that comes up, I go,
Yep. Girl, get your life together.
Yeah. But we did get a little insight of the one that did we have a name? Was it Justina? Why do I have
Justina,
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow, I'm shocked I remember
Yeah,
that.
that was good.
Justina's life and where she was kind of forced into the marriage that she's in, and that's really sad.
Yeah.
So I hope that she gets out of that marriage. But we still don't condone cheating.
No, I'm still a big if they'll cheat with you, they'll cheat on you type.
I mean, yeah.
So
Be careful.
yeah.
Be careful. Yeah. That was one of the ones that really bothered me. And every time it came up, I would shut the book and be like,
Yeah,
I just can't do this. But that's something that everyone knows about us.
Yeah, that's fair. So she needs some help. I really hope, because it's leading it to be Joy actually has feelings for Justina. It's not just like a casual fling. I
I
really
think
hope
so.
that they don't end up together. I hope
Mm.
she just like finds someone who's actually available.
Yeah. Yeah. It kind of reminds me like her whole therapist situation. There's this TikTok. Did you see the
Yeah,
fly?
I did.
It's because I opened the windows yesterday. There's this TikTok of this girl that was like showed her therapist a picture of the guy that she was crying over, and the therapist's reaction was, "In my professional experience, I'm really disappointed this is the guy that we're crying over." And if that's not her therapist to Joy, being like, in my professional opinion, I'm really disappointed in this relationship.
Honestly. Dang, that's funny. It's very funny.
It is.
Okay, so she is seeing, oh my god, these names.
Milan?
I'm so bad. Milan. But it's just casual. So they break it off, right? And then she
It was
starts
a clean break.
It was.
I was like impressed.
Honestly, yeah. So when she met Nasir at the thing, they were like all together, and there was like definitely like some type of instant connection. And okay, so Logan made a point that, oh my god, Milan is, as soon as I picked it up, I remembered
Yeah.
that Milan was like the king of consent, which
Yes.
is.
I
God
think I
bless.
made that point in my book too. Like
Yeah.
I highlighted it or something. But
like we love that.
I know, and she was like, "Stop asking." I'm like, "Girl, what?
Girl, no. No.
That's amazing."
Yeah. And at first I was getting like red flags from Nasir because first of all, he walked up on the roof and was like totally hitting on her while she was there with
Someone else.
his friend, literally
Yes.
buddies. And then like also was like touching her and she was like, "Stop touching me."
Yeah. Big red flag. Oh, which I don't have. But yeah, I am right there with you. I did not like that. I liked how she handled it though, of just being straight direct to the point of being like, "No, thank you."
Yeah.
But it is interesting because it was described in such detail when she saw him for the first time and they made
Yeah.
eye contact that it did feel like it was set up to be something major.
Yeah.
So I could see how he got from that, like something,
Yeah.
but it still doesn't excuse the fact that she's seeing your best friend.
Right.
Mhm.
And then so she has a clean break with Milan and Nasir gets her number through Joy,
Come on, Joy. Give a girl a warning.
honestly. So he calls her and is like, "Let me take you out." So they agree to take things super slow. He was the first one that she told about her dead husband, Jonah. And he's like, "Let's start with friendship." And I feel like he did a 180. Like I was like, "Oh, like I really like this guy." in
I
this
liked
moment.
it too.
I loved how he was like, "Absolutely no pressure. I like you for you. This is absolutely no expectation. Let's just become friends and like get to know each other." And he was super kind and stuff like that. After they had been kind of talking for a little bit, she brought up like, "Are you seeing other people?" And he was like, "Yeah." Which I kind of wish they had that conversation
yeah.
at first, but also like they didn't define it. So
Mhm.
like he's not really in the wrong
Mm-mm.
because
They said friendship.
yeah, but also I kind of wish they had that conversation of like, "Oh yeah, like we're going to go on dates and we're going to be friends, but we can still see other people," type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because she even like Joy was like, "Oh, what if you like fucked Milan and we're
Yeah.
dating this guy?" But then Milan was trying to work it out with his ex, which
Worked
you
out
do you,
great.
boo.
I
Yeah,
love that.
but
Convenient.
so it was like, I don't know. I feel like I keep going back and forth with Nasir of I'll like get a little bit of red flag and then he'll be like such a gentleman. And then I'm like, I don't know. It's like I ebb and flow about how I feel about him.
Me too. Their lives are so messy.
Yeah.
Like everything about this is so messy. There was a quote by Faye that I literally stopped and like took a breath and then immediately underlined it because it was so good. It says, "I think we're just figuring out how to survive a world on fire, that it's okay to be alive." And I'm like, if that's not so relevant in our life at this very moment right now and what is happening, like that's an incredible quote.
100%. There was a lot of those, like the quotes that give you actual chills
Mm-hmm.
and just were like, okay, I need to take a moment to digest this.
Quick A is amazing.
Yeah.
Love her.
Yeah. But you're right. I think I have that quote underlined as well. It's
Yeah, I'm
stunning.
sure. It was definitely like jumped out of the page.
Yeah. For sure.
I'm ready to skip to the vacation.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, you don't have
Which
anything
is-
in between?
Not really. I mean, kind of wild of him to just be like, put her name in the hat for this like show before even seeing her work. But also, I loved the faith that he had in her. Of like, he never even Googled her work and was like, oh, you should pick this girl.
Mm-hmm.
And she got chosen for this show, which is back in the islands near his home.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh yeah, all expenses paid for, come on this trip with me, which is also wild. But also he was like,
my dad's loaded.
yeah,
I'll go on a vacation. That sounds amazing.
honestly, oh my God, in
In
the house.
The open windows.
Oh my gosh, and all the gardens.
Garden. Oh.
It was like the butterfly garden we went to,
It
but like
was.
times a million.
Oh, that'll be our future
All the
house.
streams and everything. Yes,
Mhm.
please.
Our future house. The end of the day.
Yep.
Okay. Anyways.
At Trey.
At Trey. Okay, that was a major inside joke. Anyways. Beautiful house though. Beautiful gardens.
But also to Nasir's point, all of the glass and like feeling like
Yeah.
someone's watching you.
Yeah, like how remote is their location on this island?
Right.
Like, are they really? Is there like a long driveway where there's not a lot of people?
That's kind of what I got the vibe because like she said when they entered the driveway, she couldn't even see the house yet.
yeah,
but, like,
still,
still.
people could be hiking out out there.
Yeah.
A little creepy.
And there's people that live on the property too.
oh, I missed that.
Yeah, like other people that work in the house and stuff
Oh,
live
okay,
on the
yeah,
property.
well, that makes sense. Actually,
Yeah, but like
Still, oh my
But
gosh, that's a lot.
still like
You don't want
you
to
can't be
doing
naked
anything.
in your
Yeah,
own
it was-
bedroom. Like
I
like not that they would even intentionally like see anything, but like if they're just taking
They're
an
just
evening
doing their job.
stroll, or, yeah,
Oop.
or taking a stroll and you're like naked.
It's really funny. That's
Yeah.
a good point. That's a good point. What I would do to sit at a table with food prepared by a 2 Michelin star chef.
Celebrity chef.
I mean, gorgeous, gorgeous. The food that was described, my mouth was watering,
Yeah.
and I was like, I will never taste anything like this.
Right. Also, I absolutely love the balance she found between describing the food and it not being food porn.
Yes, yes.
Like, remember when we read Time Traveler's Voice?
oh my god, talk about trigger
And
warning.
it was literally just like food porn.
Yeah.
Like literally, why are you spending 3 pages describing this like hamburger?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, this is, like-
I think I blocked that out until you just said that.
Which this like is absolutely incredible food, and it gives you just enough to like leave you like, oh my god, I want this food, without being like, okay,
I knew it was gonna go off. I literally looked at the time and was like, "Oh, I think it's almost gonna go off." So that was our timer to shut our camera off and turn it back on. So we'll be back with you in just a moment. This episode is brought to you in part by Fern and Fable. You can get their books both in store in Ormond Beach, or they have an online store where you can buy books through them, and you can also get audiobooks. So they're a wonderful business that is so cute and adorable. If you ever get the chance to go to their store or on their website, they are wonderful. Go check them out. We're back. But yeah, she's so real at just like having a moment at the dinner table, just being in heaven, eating the food.
10 out of 10.
I wish I was there.
Honestly.
Oh, it sounded so good. And when he was cooking, like I was like,
Oh
oh
my gosh, imagine the smell of that kitchen.
amazing.
Literally. 10
All right.
out of 10.
But like how fucking weird is that situation? The entire time I'm like,
taco.
oh, I'm so uncomfortable.
Yeah. Okay. So she's like, she mentions that with Nasir and with also his friend before, it was like they showed the attraction first and she was responding to that. But then with her attraction with his dad, she was the one that was like,
I can't get over that though.
My God.
Like, he's bringing you on a family vacation, and you're like, oh, the dad's hot.
Literally, yikes.
Scandalous.
And she keeps being like, we're just friends. We're just friends.
Oh my gosh.
Also, Joy being like, bitch, you're fucked.
Yeah. No.
If your best friend who makes poor life choices is telling you this is a poor life choice, it's probably a super poor choice.
Maybe we should listen. Let's just take a moment to step back. Why are we actually attracted to this gentleman? Like, but also, how old are they all? Because it is mentioned he is 40 something.
Yes. They're 19 years apart, the dad and her.
Okay.
She's 30, he's 49, I believe. Because Nasir is like 4 or 5 years younger than her.
So, like, in terms of age gap difference, like, you're well enough into your 30s that that's not, like,
yeah, it's not a big deal.
Crazy. But it's the situation.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was at first like, oh, is this going to be like a major age gap like issue? But then I was like, oh, it's 19 years and they're all like hella grown up. And she even was like, oh, like it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, yeah. But I just I'm not here for it. I don't know what is going to happen. Like, part of me wonders, because they had that whole conversation on the top of the mountain and she mentions Joy.
Yeah.
And they're like very brief relationship. I don't even know if she would have called it a relationship, but like fling that they had.
Right.
And she even says like that she loved her. And then she goes on about like how there's different types of loves and stuff like that. But to me, that made like my head go, remember this for later.
Yeah.
Because like, who knows at the end, maybe they end up together and he ends up with Devin, thank you. Or something like that. Like, I don't know. Because I can't, well, maybe she doesn't end up with anyone. But I can't imagine, I would be, I don't want to say disappointed, but I would be disappointed.
I don't know. I think that's what's going to happen. But also like.
What? Which thing?
Aleem and her ending up together.
I hope not.
I don't know. Well, because also like, fuck Nasir and Lorraine that they didn't accept their father for his bisexuality. What?
Oh, I hated
Red
that.
freaking
Because,
flag.
well, oh my God. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Because that was very upsetting. And I even like, I literally, I had to like put my thoughts into order because I was like, what the heck does this even mean? Because,
right.
So, okay, they get off the airplane and he like takes a moment to warn her and say like, oh, but he's not gay.
Right.
Like, that's not,
she
it's just tabloids.
he was like, no.
Because, well, he was like alluding, but not saying anything.
Yeah. So she was like, well, is he gay?
So the fact that he made that like specific comment is very, very like you can't go back from that.
Right.
If that didn't happen, my thoughts on the situation, if that scene didn't happen,
right,
out of there, would be he brought her home when they were still young, or excuse me, he brought him home when they were young, high school, college, older,
yeah,
definitely. But it was the first person that he like showed interest in after mom died.
Yeah.
That it would be an issue because of that.
Like a replacement of mom type situation.
But because he made those comments at the airport, I'm like, oh no.
Literally, fuck this guy. Because also, like, because she was kind of like, as she saw him and was like, oh my God, this man's very attractive. She's also like noticing like he's also very well manicured and everything, and was kind of feeding off of what Nasir said of like what the tabloids said about him and everything. And then we get this side where Aleem is basically like, I had to choose between, because they're talking about if he loved again after Marisol died. And he's like, no. And then he's like, well, actually, yes. But I had to choose between,
which is why
my love and my children, my love for my children.
Which again, if that comment at the airport didn't happen, that would make total sense.
Right.
That situation, as two people who
with dead parents,
like that makes total sense. Fuck this dude. What are you, 29, 28 years old?
I think he's like
27,
25 or 26.
Get over yourself. Well, she's 30.
Yeah.
And how many years younger?
Like 4 or 5.
Oh, I thought it was like 3, 2.
Oh, no, I think it's like 4 or
Okay.
5.
Still,
He's like mid-20s. But either way.
yeah. That was the comment of no return.
Yeah. So also, like, daddy's fair game at that point because fuck this guy.
Yeah, yes, like that sucks. That whole situation is not good. But I still think that's incredibly uncomfortable. I'm not a fan.
I mean, definitely.
I'm so uncomfortable. Like, in the kitchen scene where I literally went, no, reckless, you're right. You pinned the word. You pinned it. You said reckless. I agree. I agree with you. Reckless. That's reckless behavior. And like maybe we need a little bit of reckless behavior here and there. But also
There's a line.
There's a line, and also your career. Your whole reason you're there is for your career.
Yeah.
And she does step back and dives right into that afterwards. So I guess we're on the same page there of being like, okay, moving on. But yeah, I don't know. That's one of the things that I'm not a fan of, but I'm so fascinated by it that I'm like ready to find out where is this going?
Yeah.
Like what is happening? I have no idea by the end of the book, like I said, what is going to happen.
There's also like a shared intimacy between them, and he even brings that up of both of them have not only
So
lost
true.
a loved one, but their loved one was taken from them by death right in front of their eyes, and they could do
So
nothing
true.
about it.
Oh yeah.
And there's like a shared grief in that that's just like a certain type of bond,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, I don't know, they're kind of like,
They're
I
vibing for sure.
yeah, and she was talking about like the emotional intimacy of that and of sharing that, especially when she's shared her situation with so few people.
Mm-hmm.
And
Like even if he doesn't end up with her or whatever,
yeah,
at least she has someone that understands that so deeply on a level that no one else understands,
right.
that she would have someone to be able to have these moments with. I
Yeah.
think that's important.
Yeah.
But reckless behavior, oh my gosh.
It for sure is. Also, like, Lorraine's vibes are kind of weird.
Apparently she was right with Nasir or whatever.
Yeah.
That like I don't like her.
Yeah, and the way she's like acting towards Faye, I feel like,
Which is so subtle.
but also like Faye has given her no reason to be the way that she's being. And then
Do you think she sees the oh no, because they met before. I was
yeah.
gonna say, do you think she sees the vibe between dad and her and is like picking up weird on that? But they did meet before that.
They did, but that doesn't mean to say that she's not picking up the vibes also. And also maybe like being protective of her brother, because I mean, I don't really know how close they are, but like
you keep talking, I'm gonna fix something on the
okay.
camera. But keep saying what you're saying.
Okay. Just that it is pretty evident that that Nasir really does like Faye. Like everyone keeps saying the way that he looks at her, like all the stuff he's doing for her. So maybe Lorraine is just protective of her brother in that sense of like,
Oh, he's
is
straight
this
in
girl
love.
just using him? So especially because she is the first girl that he's brought back to the islands, which he failed to mention.
He failed to mention that. I was like, she got upset. I agree. I agree with being upset about that.
Yeah.
That was absolutely crazy. But can we talk a little bit about her artwork?
Yeah.
Yeah. Freaking amazing. So in depth. I want more of it. Like I want to know more about not only I hope the next chapters, because we haven't had the opening exhibit yet. But I hope we really do get into that. Also, the art degree in me is like, give me the detail of how you got those artworks to this remote island. And well, I guess it's not remote, sorry. But these islands,
But the shipment of it.
the shipment, the travel, what did you have to do through customs? You're using blood. Like, how does that crisscross? There are so many things. Also, I need a diagram of how you're hanging these things. You're talking about fishing wire. Love it. What are you doing with the fishing wire? Like, I have so many questions that the 2 pages we got of her putting up the exhibit, not enough. Not enough. I need so many more details. Sorry, that's my spiel for you.
Fair enough. It is very fascinating.
Mm-hmm. I hope she does go into it because she's an artist herself, like the author.
Yeah.
And we'll see. I hope she does give a very detailed description, which she's so poetically written that I think she will. I'm
Yeah.
fascinated though. I love it. Like, holy cow, you're using, well, pig's blood, but still, like, blood for this? Like,
Yeah.
incredible, holy cow. Holy
Wild.
pig.
Beautiful.
Sorry. That was so bad.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So one thing that we normally hate that I love the way she uses in these books is repetition of phrases and starting sentences with the word and.
Not once did my brain say, ew. Not once.
Yeah. There were several times that she did it, and I was like, that was beautiful. That
Is how
you start a sentence with and.
Yeah.
And the repetition of the phrases, how she would just change it a little bit each time. Like the she was hers, she was alive, and there was so much to do. The whole she was hers, she was alive. Or she was Fei and she was alive. Just beautiful.
And I think that we relate to that on such a solid level because that's someone who's been through trauma, someone who has anxiety, someone who has repetition phrases of reminding yourself of something. It's in that same realm of like tapping and like getting yourself back into grounding yourself that she uses that so eloquently in this book.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why it works so well. You're not saying watery bowels. Like you're using this as a term to ground yourself.
Absolutely.
And I think that is gorgeous.
Yeah. And back to your summary of the book about this strong woman who is navigating life through grief and life after tragedy, reminding herself that she is alive and she is herself and she belongs to no one but herself, and just the power in that.
Yeah.
And she's just, I love Fei.
I know, me too. And grief is like nothing else. There's no way to describe it.
Right.
But this book holds it so beautiful. And I mean it in that phrasing. Like it holds it beautifully. That's what this story is about. Like, yes, it's a romance. Totally. But it's like a story about grief.
Yeah.
And another thing that's so interesting is there's this concept of like, oh, that was years ago. Right? 5 years is a long time. It's not a long time.
Right. And there was a time where she specifically said it felt like forever, like a lifetime ago and like yesterday. And I say that about things all the time. That time is such a weird construct. And to your point, 5 years, so much happens in 5 years. But at the same time, when you're dealing with something so tragic, that was yesterday.
Yeah. And especially when you're taking things day by day.
Yeah. And like such big life changes. Like she was living in Cambridge at the time, like after the death, and then just like takes this huge move to New York and starts embracing herself and starts dyeing her hair all these colors that her family told her, like, no, don't do that. Like it'll make you look washed up. It'll like, and she just started kind of embracing herself into that whole point of she is herself. Fei is Fei and belongs to no one else. And she is alive and she is living and there is life to live. There are things to do. And it was just
feeling those things that make you feel alive. Yeah.
And just constantly the way that Akwaeke comes back to all of that. It was just so beautiful.
Yeah. It's an intense book for people who've gone through intense grief.
Yeah.
It is so freaking well written. I'm going to say that over and over again. Like, take a shot every time I say that because it's beautiful. And I remember, like, the first 2 chapters, I was like, what did we get ourselves into? Like, how are we going to talk about all this stuff? And then I was like, oh, no. Like, this is on another level.
Yeah. It's literally like let's see.
It's so short and the pacing so far is gorgeous.
Oh, my God.
It's like it's on 2 times speed, but in a good way.
Yes. Yes. You still get everything without being like, without it dragging on. It's literally a 278-page poem.
Yeah.
It's stunning.
You're amazing, Akwaeke.
Yeah. And I need to read all of your books.
Well, that was my last kind of notes. Actually, I landed on only chapter 11, and I'm overprotective.
Yeah, fair enough.
But, Anything else would you like to add?
No, and I have no idea how
I have
to
no
predict
predictions.
the end. Like, I just am along for the ride, honestly.
I love that.
Just
along for the ride.
yeah,
Mhm.
because it's stunning and there are so many possible ways that this could go, and honestly, it could go nowhere, and I would still just be obsessed with her writing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. And I'm really glad that I did a quick character breakdown though, because there are a bunch of like characters introduced all at once and then like none and then all at once.
Yeah.
And so
Well, like Rebecca, the art curator,
and I didn't even write her down.
who might have a crush on Nasir's dad.
But either way, I think she's going to play a really big part.
I think so too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there is, and I feel like in this like before when I had just finished reading the book, I was like, oh my god, all these characters. But now, like through discussing it with you, I'm like, okay, I kind of have a better grasp of like who's who and the potential roles they'll take.
Yeah. And the moment that Rebecca plays, even at this point, there's when she finishes her exhibit, she finishes the process of it, and she starts to leave, and Rebecca kind of says like a few things, and then she starts to leave, and she turns around and says, "Congratulations." It is such a big deal, like, to have that first congratulations, especially after, like, putting so much work and effort into a show that you're going so fast and there's so much to do that the moment of, like, taking a breath, you don't, like, have that until after. Even, like, the first opening night. Like, the opening night is wild. You don't really have that moment, and I think her, like, pausing, turning around, and saying that gave Faye that moment of like, oh wow, like this is happening.
Yeah.
That's wild. I thought that was so important. I don't know. I picked up on that. That was like a okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like Rebecca, and we love like strong women supporting strong women, and I think it's going to be kind of that dynamic between them.
I hope
so.
Yeah. Very cool. I don't have anything else to say. We're going to read till the end.
Yep.
Do you have a what kept you up and what kept you home?
Yeah, do you want to go first?
Sure. What kept me up, y'all? At the time of this recording is the night before Crescent City 3 is released. I don't know how I'm functioning today. Every single like minute I'm doing something important, and then half of my brain goes Crescent City 3. And as all of you probably know, the prologue and chapter 1 have been released. I have read it. I am obsessed. And I cannot believe I literally finished a wedding and I pulled over in a random parking lot at like 8 p.m. and read it. And I was like, where's the rest? There's no way. So that's been occupying my brain space the last every day since I've been rereading everything. And then what kept me home, I've literally been reading like 3 or 4 books at once.
Yeah.
And I think I just need to settle down because I mean, I'm used to doing that, but they're all so heavy that I'm like, hold on, life's heavy right now.
Yeah.
Let's pick up a fun little book.
And it's not this.
It's not that.
This is a romance, but it's not, which I love. I hate the...
No, we're not complaining. There's no complaints here yet, other than the tropes we don't like, but that's okay. You knew that was coming.
There's always got to be something.
Mm-hmm. So anyways, those are my 2 things.
Nice.
Yeah.
So did you pick like a lighthearted, like palette cleanser?
No.
No? Okay. That's okay.
Not yet.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. So what kept me up and what kept me home? So I literally wasn't home this week. I've worked every single day this week, but I got to go to an event at a local farm in Eustis, and they had you pick strawberries and you pick sunflowers, and that was so much fun. Also, my husband was like literally jaw drop at how good the strawberries. Like, I've never had a strawberry like this in my life, and it was just like a whole moment. It was
I just
adorable.
feel like he has new experiences all the time.
Literally, and it amazes me.
It amazes me too, but like we need to do more of like new experiences.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I remember this was years ago now, but I remember the moment that I introduced press and seal to Tyler, and he was like, "What do you mean? It just like sticks to the
Stays?
thing."
Which is not something we've used our entire lives.
Right.
Like, that's kind of a beautiful, perfect way of privilege to like explain privilege. Yeah.
Exactly. But I love those moments, and I feel like he just has like child's joy about like new experiences,
Yeah.
and I want to embrace that more.
That's like me with my pottery class.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So that's been keeping you up.
Oh my
or
gosh, so
home
much
or
so. I
no?
like need to start a GoFundMe. No.
Oh my gosh.
Because
I love it.
I'm so obsessed. It is exactly what I needed. Like just something to art and beauty and creativity wrapped into one with like my hands. Like getting dirty and like
Yeah.
getting down.
Amazing.
And it's expensive, but like, oh wow, was I walked out of there being so, I felt like my cup was like poured back up.
I love that.
I felt so renewed.
I recently just bought a beginner's crocheting kit, and it's like a little rainbow narwhal, and then I
Mhm.
also got like a little headwig and a little like some
Mhm.
little Harry Potter mini crochet things. So I'm
Aw.
excited to start that.
I got Lainey one of those for her birthday one year. I wonder if she ever did
Aw,
it.
Fun.
Lainey, did you do it?
Let us know. My friend Sam started it, and I was like, I want to do that, and she's like, honestly, it's so relaxing, so much fun. And I was like, oh my god, I'll just put on my audiobook and just be crocheting.
What a life.
right?
That's what I do with my embroidery.
Amazing.
But it hurts my fingers.
Oh,
My
dang.
fingies hurt.
I remember like as a child, my grandma on my dad's side always was crocheting, and I would like sort her yarn and stuff like that. And it was like,
what a memory.
so I'm like, dang, all right, I'm gonna learn to crochet. And then
I love that for you.
so yeah, and then I've been reading lots of good books. I finished Atomic Habits, which was so good.
You love it?
Yeah.
You love the habit stacking?
Oh my gosh,
That was
yes.
the best
There's
thing I got
so
out of
much that I need to like. I need to write things down now so that I like actually put them into practice. So that was so good.
I read that a year ago and I still habit stack to this day.
Amazing.
Thankfully.
Good. All right, keep me in check. And then I'm reading which one? A Court of Mist and Fury? Is that the one I'm reading?
You just started that.
Yeah. And then I finished what did I just finish? Stolen Air by Holly Black, because we may or may not be reading the second one when it comes out in March.
We are.
We're reading the second one when it comes out in March. So I forced her to read all of the what's the other
Cruel
series?
Prince.
Cruel Prince series. I still need to send you all the TikToks, like the Juden Carden TikToks.
So here's the thing though. We're going to read that in March.
Yeah.
Y'all can't come for us for spoilers. Because here's the reason why. We gave so many warnings. Many warnings.
Yep.
And we got so much hate on TikTok. I can't handle it. It literally can't. My brain it was not made for hate.
And now people are commenting, spoiling ACOTAR for me when I haven't finished the whole series.
Stop commenting, okay? We're on A Court of Thorns and Roses still,
But
technically.
also, thanks for the interaction.
No, I know. That's why I haven't deleted them.
She's just like, don't read the comments.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, on this one that I posted, like, do not go read the comments. It has a major spoiler in it.
Dang.
Like a huge one.
Dang. But yeah, so Stolen Air was so freaking good in the way that it ended. I'm like, Holly Black, I need this book.
So we took a little road trip. That was cute.
That was so cute.
That was so cute. I love that for us. It was so much fun. It was well needed for like our
Yes.
friendship, for just like everything. Like we love our book podcast, but it is our life.
Yeah.
And like Shelby from Pines to Palm says, is this your full-time job?
Girl, please, someone pay me.
So we listened to the audiobook while we were driving, and I still know exactly where we left off because I have been thinking about it constantly. And I need to buy it. I'm so mad I didn't think about getting it when I got our book at Fern and Fable.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll audiobook it.
Yeah, it's so good.
Mhm.
It's so freaking good. I literally love Holly Black, and
I loved Cruel Prince. I'm so sad when people read it with us when I read it and I posted about it, and then other people read it with me and they were like, I don't like it, and I'm like, oh,
sad face.
I don't know what to say to this.
Sad face.
Read
But
it
also,
again.
like, to each your own.
100%.
But also, like, it's so good.
It's so good, yeah. But then, like, an explanation is not a huge romance, like, fantasy
Right.
situation. So, and then I know there are, like, people who have to have romance. And I understand that. So, like, I'm not going to hate on that. But also, oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah.
So sad for them that they didn't like it.
Right? So I'm super excited for March. But yeah, On our trip, we went to a butterfly garden. It was amazing. 10 out of 10.
It was the greatest thing I've ever experienced in my life. The way we spent like 20 minutes in there. Did you
Did-
know we spent that long in there?
That
We spent
was
forever.
That's amazing. I think people just like walked through and they were done. We were like staring at like one plant for like 5 minutes.
Just the plant, not even the
Also,
butterfly.
there was a quail and it was like,
It was talking to another one.
it was so cute.
Oh, I loved
There
it.
was so much going on, but honestly, amazing experience. So
We needed it. We needed it. Loved it.
yeah,
I want to go again.
same.
Okay, cool. Let's do it right now.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
But yeah, so all the things, and then, oh my God, the TikTok you were talking about the friend tropes. Someone tell us what tropes we are. Like you were like grumpy ex sunshine, or like all the different
Yes.
tropes, but like best friend version.
Yeah, tell us what
like,
are we? Because I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't think we fit in the grumpy sunshine. That's such a good. Yeah, so there's a TikTok. And it was talking about like grumpy sunshine and how she was the sunshine friendship part of the friendship, and she was tired of being the so much pressure. And then all the comments were about like what they were, not necessarily grumpy sunshine, but like perfect and like stuff like that. It was really, really funny. So that's what she's referring to of like, tell us which one we are.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you dressed a little bit like biker. You know what I mean? Like dark colors and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I don't necessarily dress in like pinks and like what you would normally with coincide with like sunshine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know.
I was trying to figure out like in my head what we would be.
I don't know. We'll have to think on it.
And then you tell us.
Yeah.
We're our own trope, actually. We made our own.
Anywho, yeah.
With that being
that's
said,
all I got.
we have a book fair coming out.
Yep.
February 10th.
Get
at
your tickets.
Three Odd Guys Brewing. Tickets are available in our bios, along with Three Odd Guys bio or website or something,
Yeah,
right?
yep,
And
bio,
then
Writer's Block. Linktree.
and then all of our vendors have posted about it. So if you follow any of those, you will find that book fair. We already have so many tickets sold.
Yes.
But
Come meet some cool authors.
Yes, come meet some cool authors. It's going to be amazing. Bring your beau, your book club, your
Yourself.
bestie, yourself, whoever. Celebrate, the happiness of this time, not just the Valentine's Day feel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's going to be fun. We have a lot of fun things lined up for it. So it'll be well worth the $10, I promise.
100%.
With that being said,
Stay tipsy.
bye.